Well, good afternoon, fellow moon children. Um, it's not morning. um, it's almost 5 o'clock. And this morning I went with Jess, um, one of my friends, and we went to water aerobics for the first time since I was like 12 or like 14 or something. There was a time in my life when I went to water aerobics with my mother, and I absolutely loved it. It was my very favorite thing. And so, um, that's what I did this morning. It was so good. And then when I got home, I went through my daily forecast and decided what I was going to do with that information. And then I decided that I would share it with you after the fact. Because sometimes in my daily forecasts, um, I suppose what I'm going to do, and then, it ends up changing. And that is life. That's the way that, yeah, that's the way that things go. So, in real time, it's 5 p.m. and here is your daily forecast, or your postcast, your daily postcast. But there's still some today left. I think you've got a little left. So, you guys have probably noticed, actually, this is my studio. This is the room that I spend to do most of my moon things in, and my morning yogas. This is the room. It's a great room. It's my diva den, or my my goddess space, or there's lots of different names for it, but basically it's just my glorious feminine space that is mine, that I can do whatever I want to with. So I've decided to make it a desk, and you can probably hear those are T and Bella. They're serenading you out in the backyard, which is like right out that wall. So that's why, you can hear it very loud. So I apologize for that. So, still in Aquarius. The sun is still in Aquarius. We're going to be there until, for a few more weeks. We're still in the first quarter. We spend a week in the first quarter, as you would imagine. And the moon has moved into Pisces. And we talked a little bit about Pisces yesterday. Not really very much, but there are so many zodiac websites out there. I'm not going to regale you with all of the informations about that, but that is the sign that's coloring today, tomorrow, and a bit of Friday, not the whole Friday. Today's color is topaz, and topaz is the color of a keen intellect and confidence, and it's also a planting day. So, what I did with that information was decide that I was going to add to my knowledge base in a purposeful way that applies to my life and the things that I'm doing. So, I did a Spanish lesson today because I'm learning Spanish on my own right now. If you are a Spanish conversationalist, get a hold of me, because I need to talk to people in Spanish, but I'm just not I'm not quite there yet. Kristen, if you're watching this, that means you. I know she speaks like pretty fluent Spanish, although we've never spoken Spanish to each other. And I did go to that exercise class this morning. I am soon to sit down with a bowl of crackers and some tea and read some of my yoga manual, because this weekend is my next yoga weekend. So I will be doing yoga all day Saturday and Sunday, and I'm super excited for that, for my second weekend doing that. I practiced my yoga calls, which are not very easy. That's like they gave us a series of poses that we had to memorize and or like know how to call from one to the next, like how to get into one pose and then out of it and into another one. And so I've been practicing that for the last few weeks and recording my voice doing those, and then listening to it, which is a little rough because I'm not that great, and then redoing it, So I've done that like 4 times where where I have done the calls, listened to it, and then done a new one that's better. And it has gotten better every time, which is really exciting. I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, building intellect in that way, in a very topaz fashion. And today I drew my new moon wishes. And so I said that I wasn't sure that I was going to share any of them with you, but I decided that just in the interest of showing you guys that I'm for real about this, a couple of days ago when I was watching the sunset, I wrote out some new moon wishes and some ideas that what that meant for me in my life over the next 4 weeks in this moon cycle. And so yesterday I didn't do my note cards, but I just did. I had some studio times. Listen to French cooking radio if you haven't looked into it. It's amazing. It's like got Melody Gardot and all those excellent like female crooners. It's great. Oh, it's so good. But anyway, aside that. So this is my note card. I'm going to try to hold it still. So this is me. And no, it's not so perfect. This is me, and this is all of my potted plants. Last year, my mother came down to Texas and spent a couple of weeks here, and she helped me start my herb garden. And so every time that I cook, I get to step outside onto my patio and get rosemary, and the basil died, but thyme and what else? Sage, and we had chives for a while, but those died. And it's just amazing. I absolutely love it. I want a Jamie Oliver garden, and that means in Texas that you start like very soon. So one of my goals for this month is, on top of having a flower garden, to also have a veg garden and to start that, get that going. So this is me and my garden and all of my potted plants that I already have, and then my garden, and then this is a bee because I am going to try to grow a bee garden that has like lavender and some things in it that bees love. Now we're under high wires, and so I'm not sure if I'm going to get any bees, because if you haven't done any reading, high wires actually mess with the bees like internal systems to try to find like flowers and stuff, and they don't know where they are, where they're going, or how to get back to their nests, and it's kind of terrible. But I'm going to try to have one, and so we'll see if I get any bees and if I save any bees. That would be so nice. So the writing on this, if you weren't able to read it, is Brett Jenae practices gardening, connecting to the earth, and being sustainable. And that's what gardening means to me. And so I put that here. And this is a shirt. I actually own this shirt. For some reason it matters to me. I actually draw myself wearing things that I wear and having my hair the way that it is. When I started growing out my bangs, as you can tell, I'm growing out my bangs, I had to change my caricature because I had her like down pat with bangs. So for some reason that matters. Anyway, so this is my card. And then on the back in pencil, I wrote down the 6 things in this case of baby steps and things that I can do this month to make my wish come true. So, number 1 says veg garden clean out. The garden right now, the bed that I want to put veg in is actually, has like these weird grasses in it. And so I have to clear out the grasses in order to plant veg. So, gotta clean out the grasses. 2, study Texas growing times. I actually haven't looked into it at all, like when I'm supposed to be planting certain things. So, and like when I can start and what things I can start sooner, and then what things, there are a couple of like different plants that I can plant multiple times in a year, even though it's super hot outside. And like, I know that peppers grow really well here, right? And I think garlic grows really well here as long as you have, I think it's sandy soil. So I'll have to figure that stuff out, but I need to study that. Number 3 is to make a compost pile. Well, and then I've got in parentheses and a rainwater tap. We're getting our gutters done, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and I want them to put a rainwater tap in underneath one of the gutters. So those are my goals. I'll have to research that, but I think compost would be pretty easy to start, and so I might do that even next week. 4, plant flowers in my corner garden. I have flowers that Kristen gave me, my sister gave me, and I cleaned them off and they're ready to go in, but something happened. I don't know if something happened and I didn't do it earlier, but it did get very, very cold. So, plant the flowers in the corner garden. I did trim my rose bushes back. When we moved in, there were rose bushes, and I did do that. And I cleaned out that bed so that I could put those flowers in there. They're daylilies from my cousin Eloise, and I'm super excited about putting them in because I've heard they're like totes gorge. Number 5, beautify and pot the side yard. So the side yard is my magic garden, and that is like, some people I guess would call it like a paradise garden, but it's like my bohemian place, and that's where I put all my herbs, and it was my very first outside space, and so I want to honor it and put like a little bench out there and do some things like that. So and number 6 is to plant my bee garden. So, and I can plant that inside, like I can start the lavender inside if I need to. So I might do that. So that is my new moon wish. And I wanted to share that with you guys. I did that with all of my new moon wishes. And this month, I think there ended up being maybe 6 or 7 of them that I wanted to focus on specifically. And so I have 6 or 7 of these cards. So it meant a lot that I shared that with you so that you can have a visual. I think that's it. The day is almost done. I hope that your day was absolutely fantastic. And if you haven't had any topaz or planting or like you time, I would say, in like an artful way, we're talking like in a Pisces sense. If you wanted to really connect to today, always being outside is a great way to connect with a day. And they say taking off your shoes and stepping on the ground connects you almost instantaneously. And so that's a good way to do it. But if you are looking for a good way to connect with the day to day, then I would choose something to purposefully connect you to your intellect or your confidence. So that means if there's something that you've wanted to know but you haven't looked it up, do that. If there's, like I said, if there's like an art project that you're working on, do some of that. That's a very Pisces sort of thing. If there is, if you have a couple of minutes and you want to meditate on your solar chakra. And that's this one that's like right underneath your rib cage, and the color of that is yellow. And you can look that up if you want, if you wanted to have a little bit more information on that. But mostly what I would do is focus on your belly, like not your low belly, but like just kind of like the top of your belly. On the inside, like between your belly all the way to your spine, and see the color yellow there, and then start to see it move. Some people just like think of like a pendulum, or like just like a yellow, in this case a yellow ball of light going in circles in that area, and that will awaken that part of you today and really, really connect you to today. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. If you don't have time for any of those things or whatever, that's fine too. I am so happy that you watched this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you next time.